graphics, as you Hi guys, and welcome to another PKTV Productions. Now this has been a while since I've actually done these type of videos where I actually talk to you guys about what my experience is with the PS Vita. So this is a follow-up 7 months later. Now as you guys know, I've had the PS Vita for 7 months now. So I had it back in April, first time Vita user. And my thoughts here, I thought I'd actually show you exactly how many games I've had since then. So this is the PS Vita in all of its glory, as you can see right here. So let me just open her up. As you can see, there's a lot of games that I actually have in this. Extremely good experience so far. I definitely love this. And I'll definitely show you the library that I have. Now, 6 months ago, I had pretty much next to no Vita games, physically. Now I have almost 60 games. 48 of those are physical. I actually have 50 Vita games as per the recording of this video. And I will show you the collection very shortly. So let's take a look at this collection and see what we got. Alright guys, so this is the PS Vita collection I was talking to you about. So as you can see right there, there's about 48 physical, well there is 48 physical. On this side is mostly all the Australian Region 4s. Over here is mostly the limited run collection and also collector's edition versions, as well as the PlayStation TV over there. So if you can see right here, we've got basically a lot of my collection here. I will actually go through them individually, but as you can see, just through looking at this, we've got quite a decent collection. There are also a lot that haven't been opened, as you can see right there. My limited run games, besides Oceanhorn, hasn't actually been opened. You can see right there, we've got a unopened version of collector's edition of Viii. And yeah, I'll go through the entire collection and let you guys decide for yourselves. Okay guys, this is going to be a long one, so I'm going to go through as quickly as I can. I've got 48 games to go into, so let's get started. Right, the first game I want to actually show you is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. So this is a really interesting game. It's like an RPG, but within the Dragon Ball Z world. So it's not really a typical fighting game, but nonetheless, if you want to try this out, I definitely highly recommend it. It's also quite rare too, so I definitely, if you want to get this for the Vita, I'd definitely get this probably digitally. If you can find it brand new, you'll be very lucky, and you'll probably be paying a lot of money for it. Alright, next one we have is the God of War collection. Now, this is God of War 1 and God of War 2. Highly recommend this one. You can actually play the original. This was originally on the PlayStation 2 as well as on the PSP. They were re-released. Remastered, so it's really good quality and definitely worth getting. If you like God of War, this is the original God of War 1 and God of War 2. Persona 4 Golden. Now, this is one of the most classic storyline type battle sequencing games. So you're living a life during the day, and at night you're pretty much fighting demons and shadows. Not giving too much away, but this is one of the best JRPGs you can get. If you don't like turn-based battling, it's probably not your best bet then, because this has a lot of turn-based battling. But even with that, it's definitely one of the best games to check out for its story and its unique perspective. So yes, definitely check out Persona 4 Golden. Alright, we have the Sly Trilogy Collection. So for anyone that's in the States, they realise this obviously doesn't look like it, but it is for the Australian market. So the Sly Trilogy, the only difference with this one is you basically have to put in a code for Sly 3. The thing is, you have to be aware of some of these trilogies is that the third part of it you have to sort of download. So that's probably to be aware if you're looking at brand new games or you're looking at pre-owned games. Don't buy this one pre-owned. Always buy it brand new because you need the actual code to get the third option of it. Now there is a fourth one. I haven't got that as yet, but this is a really good game so far. So if you like this type of game, definitely get it. Gravity Rush. This is an interesting game. It's not a game I like so much. Maybe I haven't really got into it just yet, but it definitely gives you a perspective of what a game with different unique physics and different gameplay. It definitely has a good storyline. It's more something that you can really just check out and see if you like it or not. But it's definitely a must to have in your collection. God Wars Future Pass. This is an awesome game. Like, it's a turn-by-turn based game, but I'm not usually one that likes turn-by-turn games, but this reminds me of Final Fantasy Tactics. It's definitely a better version of that. It's definitely something you should probably check out and see if you're going to like it or not. Great graphics, great storyline, great sort of turn-by-turn game mechanics. So definitely have a look at it and see what you guys think. Oh, it's also all in English too, just in case. Didn't know that. We've got Toukiden, The Age of Demons. This is also a nice game. It's unfortunately the English version still has Japanese subtext. When I say Japanese subtext, I mean they speak in Japanese. You still get the subtitles in English, but that's something to be aware of. Whereas God Wars, actually, they speak all in English. So this is pretty much it, as you can see right there. So that works really well. It's like a Monster Hunter type game. So if you like Monster Hunter, you'll like this type of game as well. Now, it's one of my most favourite racing games ever, which is Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. One of the best Sonic racing games. If you're familiar with Mario Kart Deluxe 8, this is very similar. You can have the greatest fun with this one in multiplayer, as well as just generally in the Sonic world. So you have all the Sonic characters. You know, it's a very, very nice game to play, I have to admit. I highly recommend this one. Ys Memories of Celceta. Not as good as the original Ys 8, but it's relatively good. It's a JRPG, obviously. It's probably not as clean cut as probably Ys 8, but it is a very nice game nonetheless. I haven't got through all of this, but it's definitely a playable game, to the point if you like the same battle mechanics as Ys. It has all that. So it's not a turn-based game. It's generally the same as Ys 8. So give that a shot. Definitely one to have in the collection. Rayman Legends. Now, this is a must-have in the Rayman world because Rayman Legends is definitely a unique take to Rayman's all the Rayman lineups, because you can have multiple characters that you can play for each level. You know, it's not your general, you're always playing as Rayman and you're collecting stuff. This is actually a very unique take. It's a very fun game too. It's on multiple platforms and it's definitely something you should play. The unique thing here is also you can also play ad hoc between two Vitas. So it's always a good thing. You play co-op and it's definitely a very good game to get. I highly recommend this out of the Raymans for sure. We've got an unopened copy of LittleBigPlanet, the Marvel Superhero Edition. So this is a great game. So the only difference between LittleBigPlanet and this one is that you have basically all the Marvel skins. You cannot get this at all anymore in Australia, so you have to basically buy the physical copy. You can pick these up very easily anywhere, pretty much at brick and mortar stores as well as online. Fairly cheap, so you're looking very easily to get. So I've kept this unopened because I want to keep it that way. It's a great collector's item and definitely worth something to get. Now we've got Dragon's Crown. Now Dragon's Crown is definitely something that you want to get if you want that old school Sega arcade type feel game. If you've ever played Dragon's Crown on any other game, any other platform, then you'll know how this works. So it's like a platform arcade style game, but you have the elements of RPG figures and RPG sort of skill sets and various other missions and quests. So it's a really cool game to get into, and definitely check it out. We've got Final Fantasy X and X2. This is the remastered edition. Definitely worth getting. I'm not a big fan of the whole turn-by-turn based RPGs, but this is definitely a turn-by-turn based RPG. So if you play the original, this is better quality, better action and that type of stuff. So definitely try it out and see if it's something along your alley. I'm not a big fan of the whole turn-by-turn stuff, so I may change my mind if I get any further in this one. But yeah, that's Final Fantasy X and X2. One of my most favourite platform games you can get on the Vita is the Velocity 2X. This is the Critical Mass Edition, so it comes with the soundtrack and all. I've got this on the PS Vita and also the PlayStation 4, so definitely happy with this. Getting the physical one is now getting quite expensive now because it's quite rare to get. But you'll find that if you do find it for a decent price, you're probably going to look around $50 for it brand new. So definitely check it out. Critical Mass Edition, one of the best shoot 'em up platform games you can run, and definitely something you should check out. We've got Retro City Rampage DX. So this is an unopened copy, obviously, because I want to keep this as memento. I have this digitally, obviously, on the Vita, and I'm not really looking to open the physical cartridge, but these retail, really, if you can find them on eBay, they're actually quite expensive. So I actually got this directly from VBlank when they did the restock this year, and I was very happy to do it. So this is the 2019 release of it, and I'm definitely keeping on to this. If you like GTA style games in a 2D sort of retro top-down type view, so if you think of GTA games in, say, Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2, you'll see what I mean. This is definitely one to try and definitely one to play. And the sequel to it is, which came out this year, which is ShakeDown Hawaii. This is a continuation of the original. It only came out this year. I have this digitally as well, so I don't intend to open this, but this is pretty much a better graphical version, better storyline, better mechanics. It's definitely an improvement on the first, so I definitely highly recommend Shakedown Hawaii. Shovel Knight. So they didn't actually make Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, but they did make Shovel Knight for the Vita. So this is a physical copy of it. This obviously comes with a manual as well. A lot of them are rare to have those type of things, so definitely one to get if you can find it. It's actually quite difficult to get. I was able to get this brand new quite easily off eBay, and I was very happy with the price as well. So definitely look at these. Shovel Knight, if you like a great 2D platformer with a unique twist, definitely get this one. Ys Origins. So this is another platformer. So this is, if you like Zelda or a Zelda type 2D adventure, this is definitely what you should probably get. This is like the prequel to the original Ys 1. So if you liked the original, definitely try this out. So this is an English version, obviously. Definitely look for that. And I'm not going to give you much on this one because it is definitely a game you need to check out yourself, but definitely worth to have in your collection. Okay, where I'm still going here. So, another one we should mention is Batman BlackGate. This is a 2D, 2.5G type of adventurous game, which is so Batman in basically a platformer. Definitely worth getting. It's definitely a reminder of a lot of the games back in the day on Game Boy Advance and that type of stuff where you had that platform experience. Definitely worth getting. It's the only Batman game you can really get on the Vita, so I definitely highly recommend getting it. Okay, here's a classic one. TearAway. If you like any games, or you want a game that actually is more unique in the Vita world, this takes full advantage of it. You've got the back touchscreen that gets used, you've got the camera that gets used, front touchscreen, everything is being used in this game. But it's used not in a gimmicky fashion, it's used in a very unique fashion and makes the game incredibly fun to play. And I have to highly recommend this TearAway game. If you like anything to do with Little Big World, you'll like this a lot better. TearAway, definitely go get it. This is the other game that I love so much. A racing game is WipeOut. WipeOut 2048. So I'm a big fan of WipeOut. So I've liked WipeOut since the PlayStation 1. So definitely have to get this if you're a big WipeOut fan. It's one of the best portable versions of WipeOut that you can ever get. And that's a bold statement because I've played all the WipeOut versions on the PSP, and this by far blows all of those away. Definitely try this out. 100% recommend it. Here is one of the best first-person shooters you can get on the Vita, and it is hands down one of the best portable FPS games you can get on a Vita. It's just, everything's perfect on it. It's just been built to basic spec. If you've ever wanted a game to run at perfect conditions and run at perfect specifications and just gameplay in general, it's brilliant. Definitely get this one. If you've ever tried Modern Warfare, it blows that away on a mobile. This is perfect graphics, perfect console quality FPS gaming on a PS Vita. You'll wonder how the PS Vita is capable of running this game because it looks so good. Also, multiplayer as well on this one, still very active in the community. So if you want to play a multiplayer game of shoot 'em up, this is definitely available on the Vita. Now, fighting games, Dead or Alive 5. Now, this is actually quite a difficult game to get, and if you can get it, it's definitely worth getting because it is one of the best storylines. So if you're a fan of Injustice, then you'll be a big fan of Dead or Alive 5 Plus. Has the best type of storyline and graphics that you'll ever want on a PS Vita. So definitely get this. Highly recommend it. Borderlands 2. So this is an RPG, but it's more along the lines of a first-person shooter as well. So it's basically the full PC game that they've actually optimized it for the Vita, and you'll be extremely surprised how well they did this. It amazes me how well Borderlands 2 was actually optimized to run on the Vita. They could have easily put GTA 5 on the PS Vita if Rockstar wanted to. I really wish they did because this is a masterpiece. It is the full-fledged version of Borderlands 2 but portable. You cannot ask for any more on this one. It's unbelievably good. And 2K did a massively good job on this. And I highly recommend getting it without a shadow of a doubt. Ratchet and Clank Trilogy. So this one is actually quite good because you get all three on the cartridge. You don't have to download an extra DLC or anything like that. You basically get what you get. and you don't get upset. So that's basically all 3 of them. So if you're a big fan of the old Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3 on the PS2, and you'll also remember this also on the PSP for a time, definitely worth getting if you like Ratchet and Clank. Now, this is RidgeRacer. Not my favourite type of game. I've been an owner of a lot of the original Ridge Racers. This is not Ridge Racer 1. This is just like a legacy Ridge Racer. It's a very short game. The mechanics of it is a bit weird. It's not as good as the previous versions of Ridge Racer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just really a tribute to RidgeRacer. So if you like RidgeRacer, definitely go look at this one. It's a short game, but it's a great graphical game. Once you understand the mechanics to it, it's a relatively good racing game. But I wouldn't recommend it as the highest thing, but it's a great collector's item. Need for Speed Most Wanted. This is the full-fledged PC version of it. It's unbelievably amazing the fact that they've been able to put this on a Vita. This is one of those mysteries of how they've managed to do this, one of those Sony voodoo magic that they do. Because this is a phenomenal game on the Vita, and it's definitely a tribute to what you can do from EA's point of view to put on an actual console like the Vita. So I'm very pleased to say I highly recommend this racing game as well. So definitely pick up Need for Speed Most Wanted without a shadow of a doubt. Resistance, Burning Skies. This, I'm going to say this, if you like Resistance, and you really like the way the storylines it goes, then yes, get this one. Because you'll then ignore the fact that the actual game mechanics and graphics are just absolutely glitchy as hell. Like, it's terrible. Let's just put it this way. If you enjoy Resistance in general, then get this game. But if you don't like Resistance that much, or you hate poor gameplay or poor graphics or glitches, definitely don't get this one. It has its moments, but it also has its really bad moments in it. I'm not talking about the gameplay, I'm talking about the glitchiness of it. Yeah, keep an eye out on it. If you want to try it out, I recommend trying it out, but get it really cheap if you can, but check it out. Whoopsie. Alright. Another one on the agenda is a motorcycle game, also apparently rare, MXGP. I got this really easily, but from what I was told by a friend, it's actually quite difficult to get. So MXGP, great motocross game. If you're familiar with the MXGP line, this is definitely a golden version of it on the PS Vita. So if you want a portable version of MXGP, it's definitely everything you could ever want in the game. Graphics, probably not as the best graphics I've seen, but it's still a really good game to play if you like those type of motocross games. Definitely give a look at it and see what you think of it. My favorite JRPG of all time is pretty much this one, and it is XIII, Lacrimosa of Dana, and definitely a must-have, hands down. Have to get it. It's the only JRPG you need to get first up. Definitely worth it, and I really don't want to give away any storyline because I'm like fully into it and I would play this forever, over and over again. This is an open world game, but is one of the best sort of JRPGs you'll play on a portable system. You'll wonder how this is on a portable system. This is on the Switch and multiple other platforms, so definitely check out XIII. 100% recommended, the best JRPG on the PS Vita as such. Unit 13. Now, you have to be a SOCOM fan to appreciate Unit 13, because from the makers of SOCOM, these guys made something brilliant, and Unit 13 is basically a continuation of SOCOM legacy. If you like SOCOM, get this game. 100% do not avoid this game if you're a SOCOM fan. And I've had the collector's edition of SOCOM on the PSP, and I 100% recommend this game without any shadow of a doubt. So if you like SOCOM, get Unit 13. And yes, the one that's the most sought out game you should ever get on any Sony PlayStation is an Uncharted game. But this Uncharted game is a prequel to all the Uncharteds out there. So this is Uncharted Golden Abyss. So this storyline happens way before Uncharted 1, and it's definitely a full-fledged Uncharted game to a T. If you ever wanted a portable version of Uncharted, this is your chance. I really wish they made more than one version of it, but it's definitely 100% worth getting without a shadow of a doubt. Uncharted in portable form is absolutely amazing. So get this one 100%. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. So if you guys like Smash Brothers, or you've played Smash Brothers, or any similar Nintendo type game like that, you definitely want this one on the Vita, because this is a PlayStation version or a Sony version of Smash Brothers within the PlayStation world. So if you like that Battle Royale type fighting type game, you definitely want to get PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. So this is an unopened version, so I haven't actually opened it, but I do have this digitally. Definitely worth getting. Freedom Wars. Now this is also a very sought out game on the PS Vita. It's also a very unique game. The way the mechanics work, the way it's similar to a Monster Hunter type game as well. It's a JRPG, you build accessory to war. It's definitely a unique type of Japanese game. A lot of it's in English as well, which is great. Well, a lot of it's in Japanese as well, but you get the drift. This is the English sort of subtitle version. So it's definitely worth looking at. I haven't played too much of it, so I can't really give you my opinion on it, but it's definitely worth having a look at this and having in your collection for sure. Exonic. Superbeat. So this is a music game, obviously, a rhythmic type game. Definitely one to have. I haven't opened my copy yet, but it's definitely worth getting. If you like rhythmic type games, this is definitely one to get. Great music game. I don't really know what else to say, but the music is awesome in it, and it's a rhythmic game. I can't really tell you anything else about it. So definitely get this one if you can get it. Reality Fighters. Now, this is Sony's take on AR. Essentially, you can set up the camera on the PS Vita, and you can actually set it up so you can have your, fighting ground. And this essentially, then the fighters appear in reality, and you're basically using the camera to play AR of reality fighters, which is okay, I guess, if you like that type of stuff, but meh. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Okay. Virtual Tennis 4. Now, I love this game. I've been a big fan of Virtual Tennis since it was on the Sega. For a very long time. Been very, very happy with Virtual Tennis 4. And it's definitely a must if you're a Virtual Tennis fan. Great controls, great multiplayer. Definitely get Virtual Tennis 4. Obviously, I haven't opened mine, but definitely worth getting. Sorcery Saga. So this one's unopened also, but definitely this is known also as the curry game. Get this game because you won't regret it. So it's a JRPG, but it's all about making curry. Now that may sound really lame, but then you play the game and you realize this is not half bad. So I definitely don't read it at face value. Play it first, and then you'll see what you think. But it's definitely a great JRPG. So it's a turn-based system, but it's definitely worth a try. So have a look at it, and you may like it or you may not. So check out Sorcery Saga. We have Looney Tunes Galactic Sports. So if you like anything that's more, sporty type things, so Olympic type sports, golf, that type of stuff, with Looney Tunes characters, this is definitely the game for you. There's not really much to say on this one, besides the fact that it's basically the Olympics with cartoon characters, Looney Tunes. So yeah, definitely give it a try. If you like it, you like it. And of course, LittleBigPlanet, the original. Now, I'm not going to give too much on this one because I've already said if you like LittleBigPlanet, this is definitely worth getting. And I've just dropped it. So definitely have a go and have a look at this one. Okay, guys, we're going to the last leg. Okay, let's start with our collector's editions. This is Furwing Collector's Edition. So I've got this from PlayAsia. They're pretty much sold out everywhere, but this comes with a original soundtrack, comes with the authentication certificate and also the manual. I actually have this digitally as well, that's why I haven't opened it. But definitely a sought out game. Definitely if you like platformers that remind you of, say, Sonic the Hedgehog with a little bit of a twist to it, this is definitely worth picking up. I absolutely adore this game, and I definitely love it. So I think you can get it on any platform currently, but this is definitely worth getting on the Vita. Now we get to our limited run games. So the first one is Oceanhorn. So I love this game on the actual mobile. I've had it pretty much as the very first limited run game that I got. And I made the mistake of actually opening it and not realise that, you should open these games if you want to keep them as collector items. So Oceanhorn is the exact same port as you have on iOS or Android. It's pretty much in cartridge form, so you basically, if you want to check it out, download the game on either Android or iOS and you'll see what I mean. Absolutely nice sort of Zelda type game. So if you ever wanted to play Zelda I think it's called Link's Awakening, similar port, then this is the one to actually use. The only issue I have with it is that it's quite short. So you definitely need to decide whether you want to get it or not, because they actually get quite expensive. So that's Oceanhorn on the PS Vita. The next one we have is Alone with You. Now this is like a visual novel type game, but it's the version that was back on the Sega Genesis or Sega CD back in the day. So definitely something to look at. I haven't looked at it because I'm not really that interested in playing this type of game, but it's definitely a great sci-fi romance adventure. So if you like those type of visual novels, this is definitely one to get. Mutant Bob's Attack. So this is another limited run game. I haven't opened this one either, but worth getting. So you can get this on the Steam. I think you can actually get it a few other platforms, but you're basically a blob. You consume things and you go through multiple levels, but it's in cartridge form. I'm not going to go too much into this, but it's definitely an addictive game once you get into it. Okay, let's put these over here. Next one, Mutant Alien Assault. It's a pretty short game, but it's fairly unique game as well. You can have multiple levels in there, and it's definitely got a lot of kick to it. Definitely like, if you like those platform games that are literally like a Pac-Man type situation combined with different elements of shooting, definitely worth getting a look at this. I don't really know too much about the game because I haven't actually gone and played it yet. But it's definitely worth looking at if you can see there. Dragon's Sinker. So this one is like a 2D adventure. So it's a JRPG. It's an RPG also, and it's very similar to the Zelda world. So if you like classic type RPGs, this is definitely one to get. So if you want to get anything that's classic and storyline orientated, this is definitely a game you have to go and play. Not giving too much on this one because it's very story driven. So just have a look at it and see if you can get it. It's another limited run game, so you might want to check the prices out on that one. Now, second last. This is number 40. No, this is number 47 of my collection. So this is the Guacamole. Great game to play if you've ever played on the PC or PlayStation or anything like that. This is in physical cartridge form, so I've got the digital version. It's definitely a great platform game. It's got RPG elements to it. It's definitely a really fun game. I believe they're up to a sequel already for this game, so definitely check it out. It's definitely a limited run game you definitely want to have in your collection for sure. All those games came out this year, by the way, except for Oceanhorn, and that's pretty much it. And my ultimate and unbelievably favourite game I've left for last is Metal Slug 3. A physical copy of it from Limited Run Games. I absolutely love this game. I will play this game to death. It is unbelievable, and I do like Metal Slug in general. So if you've ever played Metal Slug ever, you know what I'm talking about. So you can get this on any platform, but Metal Slug as a physical copy is a momentum. So you definitely should get this, okay? You have to get it. If you like shoot 'em up 2D games, this is great. You just keep shooting and shooting and shooting, and this is the type of old school arcade you have to play. Enough said of that one. And yeah, there we have it, guys. That was a very, very long game thing. So yeah, sorry for the very, very long video, but that is basically all my entire 48 game collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe and like this video. Cheers. And just when you thought it was over, here it is. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So this is number 49 out of my lovely collection. So this is a great fighting game. So if you've ever wanted to have one of the best fighting games on the PS Vita, this is definitely a must-have to get. And it's also quite rare now. So that's all you get inside, as you can see right there. And here's a little bit of blurb on it. So this is Australian rated game. So yeah, very cool. And definitely worth checking out if you like fighting games like this one. And last, but certainly not least, we've got the Jax and Dexter Trilogy. So this is 1, 2, and 3, and this is basically one of the most controversial games on the Vita because it doesn't run so well frame rate wise. So this has all 3 of the Jax and Dexter collection. So this is a Region 4 obviously, so it's an Australian version as well. And yeah, this basically when all you get is the disc and the cartridge, and everything is basically stored in it, 1, 2, and 3, so you're not downloading any additional content or anything like that. So this is a great little game if you like Jax and Dexter. So definitely check that out. So this is number 50. Great game. Definitely check it out.